Hey guys, you're in the machine. A few tips today on Warrior B. This pose is found in virtually every vinyasa class you take anywhere in the world, but a lot of people have trouble with some of the alignment. A few adjustments can help you get a lot of bang for your buck. Let's do it. Okay, from the ground up, let's break this thing down, starting with the feet. We have to deal with width and depth. Width is this way, depth is this way. A lot of people get hung up on exactly heel-toe or toe-heel or heel-heel alignment. I say hip width, step it back, find what works for you. I can tell you that if you're exactly on the tightrope, you're going to have balance challenges, and if you're super wide, you're going to affect the stretch and probably run into your neighbor and come off your mat. So, hip width, stepping it back. Now the question of depth, that depends on you and your level of flexibility. If you're not very flexible and you want your knee over your ankle, your depth is going to be somewhat short. If you're really flexible and you still want your knee over your ankle, your depth is going to be really, really long. So it depends on you. Usually, to stay on your mat, your depth will be where your foot landed when you stepped up from downward dog or whatever position you come to. From there, you may have to adjust it by crawling your toes out or backing your foot in. Next up is the knees. Really important. Back knee is always locked out straight, not hyperextended, but straight, engaging your quads. Front knee is always bent. How bent? Up to you, as long as the ankle stays under. So if I have to be this high, I better bring that foot in. If I want it really bent, I better bring that foot out. Also, because of the tension in the adductors from this pose, the front knee tends to want to turn inward, like this. I don't want that to happen. It's bad for the knee and it affects the stretch. If this is happening and I can't stop, I need to back out of the pose. If it's happening and I can adjust it, all I need to do is track the knee out. I always look down. If I can see my big toe, I'm in a good spot. If I can't, I need to track it out farther. Next, hips. Hips want to be level and neutral. So if you find yourself lifting one hip higher than the other, back out, level them, then find your height. Neutral hips is important here, but not entirely possible because of the way our femur bones are separated out of the socket. Neutral hips are easy when my femur bones are directly under me. But when I have them separated, it's hard to completely undo that lumbar curve. So I don't want to be here in this pose, and getting it completely neutral might be a challenge. So I just try to tuck the tailbone again by squeezing these abs down. Next, shoulders. I want them over the hips in each direction. So directly above the hips to the front and back and side to side. I also want them down off my ears with my scapula squeezed together, because that comes into play when the arms come up. Sometimes when I lift my arms, my shoulders want to follow. So when my arms come up in opposite directions, I need to squeeze my scapula back together, leading with the chest, dropping them down away from the ears. Arms parallel to the earth in opposite directions. Sometimes I have to check back because I think this one's level when it's not. I want it right out from my shoulder. I want the front one right out from it. Last is my head, chin off the chest, looking as far as I can over the front fingertips. Every time I get into this pose to this day, I do my inventory. Are my feet at the right width and depth and the right angles? Front pointing forward, back at 45. Knees, is the back one straight? Is the front one bent over the ankle where I want it? Is it tracked out so I'm not putting pressure on the inside of this knee joint? Hips, are they level? Are they neutral? Shoulders, are they over the hips, up, back, and down? Are arms parallel to my mat? And am I looking out over my front fingertips? Warrior B.
But the whole point of the machine is to relieve you of that suffering.